Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday, April 14th, 2021. This is Morning Joey. I'm your host, Joey Molinaro. Thanks as always for waking up with me. For those watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. For those watching on Twitter, thanks for being here as well. Make sure you go to youtube.com/c/cupofjoey later on. Catch up on the videos, daily content. Subscribe to that channel. We're keeping it growing, keeping the numbers going up, baby. Those are rookie numbers. We're keeping those numbers going up, like McConaughey would say. For people who want to buy some merch, I appreciate you. I got more people hitting me up saying, hey, I love the mug. It's a good-looking mug. It's a solid mug. Description below to buy that. Buy the Cup of Joey dad hat, Juju One Last Ride t-shirt, all that below. You know the deal. So if you're on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. Continue to share the videos. Watch the videos every day there. And on Twitter, I appreciate you being here as well. We got a great show today. Myles Turner, Pacers center, Pacers all-star. Myles Turner should be Defensive Player of the Year coming up. He's going to join me around 9:45. We're going to talk about the life and the legacy of Slick Leonard. Passed away yesterday. Got that news after our show. So rest in peace to Slick Leonard, man. An absolute legend in the state of Indiana. A Hall of Famer, a basketball, pro basketball, a Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Famer. I mean, he's just Indiana, dude. He is Indiana through and through. Indiana basketball as a whole, not just IU, through and through. So he will definitely be missed. He will be missed big time. I mean, as a Pacers fan, my whole life, growing up, that's just like implanted in my head. From being a little kid in the 90s, and you have Racers and Pacers going on, and you got the Pacers versus the Knicks, and Reggie Miller doing his thing, and Slick Leonard, boom, baby, and it's just ingrained in my head, dude. And so many good memories of watching the Pacers and hearing Slick call those games. I mean, he loved Indiana, he loved the Pacers so much. He saved the Pacers, him and his wife Nancy, in 1977, literally saved the Pacers with the telethon. If they wouldn't have done that, Pacers probably don't exist today. They definitely don't exist as is, and that could have changed a whole lot of things for, maybe the Colts wouldn't have come here. Maybe we wouldn't have gotten the Hoosier Dome. I mean, the dude's impact in his 88 years was just undeniable in the state of Indiana and the city of Indianapolis. So for those of you who are outside of the state, outside of the city, and may not be as familiar, that's fine, but I know that my Hoosiers out there and my Indy folks, they know what I'm talking about and they feel it. And I wanted to at least acknowledge it and talk about it today to start the show. And that's what I'll talk about with Myles coming up about 9:45. His experience with him, his time as a Pacer since 2015. He's been around Slick for 6, almost 7 years now. And we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about, what the Pacers can turn this thing around, what he's been up to. Me and Myles have become buddies, so it's been good. Love the dude. So he'll be joining at 9:45. And then we got a whole bunch of other stuff to talk about too, man. Chet Hanks video, my mindset on umpires. I don't know how people I don't know how, I'll get into it more, but I don't know how people how people who are umpires don't have an implicit bias. I'll get more into that later. But first, you got to start. I haven't been to. It was always a goal of mine for some reason to be a regular somewhere, to be where you walk in and everybody's like, "Hey, Joey, hey!" I don't know. It's just because my dad watched Cheers all the time when I was a kid, but I always loved that. I was always like, I want to be a regular somewhere. It turns out I'm officially a regular at my local Starbucks, going down the road from me. I moved a little bit further away, so I can't walk there anymore. So I used to walk there every single morning before the show and before I would get my work going and everything like that. And I'd, have my regular order, and I would talk with the baristas and we'd have a great time. Yeah, there's a point where it was like, "Hey, see you tomorrow, Joey." I was like, "Yeah, see you guys." And so I can't do that anymore because it's too far away to walk, but close enough definitely to just whip it there and drive. So we're out of coffee. Me and Rye have been, drinking coffee from the house out of the Cup of Joey mug, which you can get if you're watching on YouTube below. You should go buy the BarstoolSportsStore.com so you can wake up with me every morning and share a cup of Joe. But we're out of coffee. So I woke up this morning. I was like, shit. I was like, I got to just run to Starbucks real quick. And so I ran to Starbucks, the one I go to. And it was so funny, man. I walk in and it was like, all the people are like, Joey, where you been? Hey, Joey, good to see you. I was like, Alex, Ray, what's up? All right. It was like a little reunion, man. It's an undervalued thing, the human interaction. It's like I can do the mobile order. I've started to do the mobile order a little bit more, but I don't know if it's just old school in me or what, but I'm a sucker for, hey, I like to have a little bit of that, a little bit of that connection, a little bit of that relationship, and I know people are always just like, oh, well, you should shop local. And I do go to some local coffee shops sometimes, but hey, those baristas, they're doing their thing over there at Starbucks too. So I go and see them. It's just nice to be a regular somewhere, especially after this last year. You're like, oh, this is good. All right, I like this. I'm going to keep coming back here. Check out my background, man. Check out this backdrop. I'm changing it up. I got my LSU helmets. I got my Joe Burrow one over this shoulder. I got my Coach O one over that shoulder. I look like I could be on like College Game Day or something, man. They're cutting away to me, and this is my studio. That's right, Johnny. Sometimes you just want everybody to know your name. That's why you become a local at your coffee shop. But this is going to look even better after today. Tomorrow, if you like it today with these two helmets right here, bada boom, bada bing, you come back tomorrow, we're going to have a full backdrop. All right, we're going to have a full set. I'm not going to spoil what it is, but it's going to be a full backdrop. This is going to be my permanent basis to where I do the show every morning here. So I move my bookshelves to where I put all my cool shit, and they're going to be right behind me. Like I said, Joe Burrow over here, Coach O over there, signed. You've seen those videos, and they're going to be completed by tomorrow. So I'm really excited, man. You're going to come back and you'll be like, wow, Joey's got an actual set. He's got an actual studio behind him instead of just like being on his couch and having a brick wall. So I'm very excited about that. I really am. Yesterday I had, here's the thing. We got to talk about, because I picked up some Starbucks yesterday, and I went in, and Happy was with us, and he was in the back seat. I went into Starbucks, got the drinks, come back out. Happy Boy has gone up and jumped into the front. All right. It's his car now. He owns this relationship, right? So he is in the front seat. So I'm like, whatever, instead of hassling about it, I'll just hop in the back, take a picture of it, put it on my Instagram story. And of course, without fail, somebody messages me and they say, the first line, they say, I don't mean to be that guy, but, and then they go on to continue saying about how puppies shouldn't ride in the front and the airbags are dangerous and blah, 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 yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. One, you don't know the circumstance. We didn't put him up in the front. He hopped up in the front, and we're like 2 blocks away from where we live. Okay, not that big of a deal. Two, if you ever say, I don't mean to be that guy, whatever you're about to say after that, you 1000% mean to be that guy. Just don't even preface it with that. Drop the I don't mean to be that guy, because you do mean to be that guy. You're going to be that guy. And you just did. So anytime you hear somebody say that, anytime you hear, a text starts off with that or a DM that you get, it's over. Whatever they're about to say is going to make you want to soft toss your phone up in the air and smash it with a DeMarini baseball bat. I don't mean to be that guy, but you probably already know this, but it's just like, why is the preface even there? Exactly. Keith, shades of with all due respect. Yeah, like Talladega Nights. Just because you say with all due respect doesn't mean that, whatever you say afterwards doesn't matter. So these dudes who dropped the I didn't want to say anything, but yes, you did. You couldn't wait to say something. Don't lie. Don't tell us that you didn't want to say anything. Dr. Joey diving into these phrases we all hear this week. I'll stop by. I don't mean to be that guy. Yeah. Hey, man, I'm observant, dude. It's like Seinfeld said, like, it's part of my job. I just observe things and then I talk about them. And if somebody texts you when you're like, hey, we got this going on. Hey, just checking back in. You think you'll make it to this barbecue? Oh, yeah, man. I got to run a few errands, but I'm thinking I'll stop by after that. Nope. Talked about it on Monday. Not happening. Forget about it. There's a better chance that your house will blow up than that person who says, I'll stop by, will actually stop by. And just like when somebody says, I don't mean to be that guy, or I didn't want to say anything, those prefaces mean nothing because whatever comes afterwards is exactly what they wanted to be and exactly what they wanted to say. So next time, just don't say that part. I would have received it better if he would have just said, man, you got to be careful. Man, you got to be careful. Dogs aren't supposed to be up in the front like that. Like, the airbag, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. We're right on. Good looking out, man. But as soon as you say, I don't mean to be that guy. I don't mean to be that guy, but I just want to put my hand on your forehead and just bully you like that when you say that shit. Anyways, had to get that off my chest because, I tweeted about it yesterday and I just, it's true. It's 100% true. It was brought up in the comments. So like I said, off the top of the show, Slick Leonard passed away, rest in peace, to an Indiana legend, a Pacers legend. But Charles in the comments kind of asked, what would be your Indiana sports Mount Rushmore? And so since my guys, part of my take, are so well known for Mount Rushmore, I didn't want to, take that. So I kind of wanted to change it up a little bit, at least kind of try to make it my own. So I envision putting my cowherd hat on here. And I envision now the state of Indiana is like a club. All right. It's like a club, and then you have the VIP section in the club. Who are the people? Oh my goodness. Coffee cake coming up. Woo! Who are the people in the club that are getting up into the VIP? Who are the people up there who are sitting off on their own, above everybody else in their own section? They got bottle service. Everybody wants to be where they are. Who are Indiana's VIPs? Sports VIPs. So one, I think you got to start since he just passed away, Slick Leonard. He's not as flashy or nationally known as the other people who are going to be on this list, but just simply for the state of Indiana, for the city of Indianapolis, what he's done, the life he lived here, who's your born, who's your bred, who's your passed away, Slick Leonard's got to be on the list. In my blog yesterday, I put all the renovations that are going on at Bankers Life Fieldhouse and around it for what would have been the 2021 All-Star Game, now the 2024 All-Star Game. I mean, by that time, there 100% needs to be a Slick Leonard statue outside of Bankers Life, either on Georgia Street or in that new concourse where people, just like the Peyton Manning one at Lucas Oil, that entrance that everybody enters off of Pennsylvania and downtown Indy, where the main concourse is, or like the ice skating rink and all that shit's going to be, needs to be a Slick Leonard statue. I'm thinking of that famous shot where he's like in his blazer and he's got like on his knee on the sideline and he's got his arms over his other knee and he's coaching. That could be good, but there absolutely needs to be that by the time those renovations are all said and done for 2024. So I think you got to start Slick Leonard. And then the other statue, like I mentioned, Peyton Manning. I'm as you know, I'm not a Colts fan at all, but it does kind of rub me the wrong way how so often he's remembered as a Bronco, just because that's where he last, played. And I know he won a Super Bowl there, and I know all the stuff about how the Colts released him, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, 14 years here completely changed the landscape of the city. You know, he literally, without him, Lucas Oil wouldn't have been built. Changed Indiana from he talked about it in his like retirement speech. You know, Indiana was a basketball town and a car racing town. And now, I mean, the NFL is king here. Nothing pushes like the NFL, and it wouldn't be that way if Peyton Manning wouldn't have come in and dominated the NFL like he did with the Colts, you know, in the regular season, at least put up those numbers for, 13 years. So I don't like that. I don't like how he's always constantly remembered as a Bronco. I think that sucks, even as a non-Colts fan, because he, one, has a statue here, and he was so implemental in everything that's gone on with the city of downtown Indianapolis, with Lucas Oil Stadium, with how football's turned around in Indiana. I mean, yeah. So Slick Leonard, Peyton Manning, obviously Reggie Miller. All right, so these are like the big three. Peyton and Reggie. Those are the two. And especially, the two of my lifetime. Lucky enough that I grew up watching those guys, and that was like my childhood in Indiana was Peyton Manning and Reggie Miller. And then unfortunately, the generation or two after me got fucking Paul George and Andrew Luck. And Reggie, God love him. He did a big thing about Slick because he had such a good relationship with him. And then the day before that, he had that quote that was like, if Michael Jordan would have asked me to come to Chicago, I would have told him to go fuck himself. Incredible. That's why we love him so much. Like Reggie Miller was the first Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard was just like, no, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to stay in Portland. I'm going to do my thing. I don't need to go join everybody else. I like where I am. We're going to do it here. That was Reggie Miller, and he got close. He got close a couple times to a title team. Couldn't get it done. But you know what? That's why he'll always be loved here, and he'll always have a place here. He's got a fucking mural off Michigan Street here. Because that's what we like, man. He just said, you know what? I love Indiana. This is for you, Indiana. That's what he said in the Garden after they beat the Knicks. And he's just a legend, man. So, yeah, Slick, Peyton, Reggie. Then I think you got to go Bob Knight. I know it's been a rough go in the last 20 years or so. And, they reconciled their relationship down there in Bloomington and everything like that. And now he, makes statements about Mike Woodson being the coach at Indiana. But for a while there, it was really bad. He was like, I'm not fucking with Indiana. And Indiana didn't really, they didn't really know what to do about him. And then they couldn't reconcile the situation. Finally did at the beginning of 2020. But, his exit was bad. And there's a few things in between that was not great. But, I mean, when you look at over 30 years of being the coach or 30 years of being the coach at IU, the last undefeated team in 1976 went undefeated, won the national championship, still undefeated after Gonzaga got beat last Monday night. 76, 81, 87, 3 national titles, I mean, he makes it on shows like Parks and Rec and like It's Always Sunny, you know what I mean? Like you think of Indiana, like Bob Knight is one of the first 4 names that comes to mind. So got to put him up there. You do. And then I threw in Mario Andretti. I figured that somebody from IndyCar, someone from the IMS needed to be in there just because, the Indy 500 and Indianapolis Motor Speedway is so big here. And I was just trying to think of like, who's like, the most iconic name, or and Andretti's tough to beat. Marco Andretti still going, still driving now, but Mario Andretti won 69, and he's just a staple, dude. He's a legend at IMS, and I feel like you can make the argument that he should be in there for sure. And if it's not just sports, I think you got and then maybe even Larry Bird, right? I mean, he was with the Celtics, but Indiana. Born, Indiana raised, played high school here, went to Indiana State, went to the national title with Indiana State in 1979, legendary game with Magic Johnson. He came back to Indiana to coach and then to be in the front office with the Pacers. So he's kind of, he played with the Celtics, but like he's definitely professionally an adopted Indiana guy. There's a reason why a lot of people in Indiana are Celtics or fans, or they are at least soft for the Celtics a little bit, is because of Larry Bird. So yeah, I think you can make the argument for him to be up there as well. About Rod Woodson. People forget about Rod Woodson. Fort Wayne Snyder, Purdue, Hall of Famer in the NFL. He's Indiana through and through. He just doesn't have that same tie and connection because he didn't play professionally here. You know what I mean? But again, born and raised here, Fort Wayne, up at the tip. I get it. But I got family from Fort Wayne now. They know Rod Woodson, Purdue legend Rod Woodson, Steelers, right? I think you make the argument. He's on the outside looking in, He's kind of waiting on the stairs to see if Peyton and Reggie give him the go-ahead. Give him the nod. Yeah, he's cool. And if it's just Indiana, then, you got to say David Letterman too, I think. Still owns an IndyCar team. Anybody who makes it to be a late night host like that and as big in entertainment and media as David Letterman, and they're born and raised here, went to high school here, worked here in the city before they went out to LA. He's got to be on that list, right? Let's see what people are saying. What's up, Connor? All right, what do you got? Give me the topic. Charles says Tamika Catchings, Tony Dungy, Robert Mathis. Yeah, I think those would be a few that, again, would be like, are they on the list? Are they not? They come up, cool, they're good, that kind of thing. That's what I think. So I'm still waiting on this topic here. I don't know if Burkle's with me. I'm interested to see if he is. But that's my Indiana VIP right there. We got Myles Turner coming up here in about 20 minutes or so. Let's get into triple shot. Let's get into this Chet Hanks video, man. We got to I tweeted about it last night. And so we're going to be watching it together for the first time. Because I didn't watch the full thing because I wanted to wait. I wanted to wait until the show. So here we go. Yeah, of course he spells it Hanx.
I swear to God, man, as soon as you get a bag, these bitches want to take it from you. Take it from me. Yeah.
Okay, I want to say off the bat how much I hate this already. Just want to get that out of the way. Okay. This is literally Malibu's Most Wanted in real life. Like this kid who has two uber famous parents, super, super uber wealthy parents. And he's like, what I can do or be anything I want because nothing matters. Yeah, I'll be a rapper. Second time he's done that. Won't miss, always hit my target. They just trip off with doing chases. I just want to. Oh, at least he's, this is good. At least that he is, being careful and caring about, protecting from the sun.
Sucker ducking and dummy dodging all
There we go.
day. You know what I'm saying? Real 16. That's on P. I'm out.
Tom Hanks, Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson, like, what is their reaction? I think if they did a reaction video to that, it would be the most viewed video of all time. Like Tom Hanks and Rita sitting down just like we are right now and watching that whole thing. Like, what are they saying? I need to know. I need to know. There's this guy on TikTok that does a really, really good Tom Hanks impression. So maybe I'll DM him and see if he can make that happen. Because Tom Hanks just has to be like, oh no. Like Mr. Rogers, the dude who plays Mr. Rogers, and this is his son. Yeah. Keith says, bro, gonna get pink eye. He brought that move out 2 or 3 times. The old laying the head on the ass while it does the twerking. JP, Tom Hanks has to do another 10 movies to make up for Chet. Yeah, and they better be some bangers too. They better be some like damn near Oscar winners, some more like Castaways and You've Got Mails and all that kind of shit. Toy Story 5, making up for Chet. Toy Story 5, White Boy Summer. Chet's just in there with Buzz and Woody. I don't like how he took his dad's, because his Tom, he does the Hanks, after all of his tweets. So he has something like funny or a nice little tweet that everybody's like, oh man, Tom Hanks, you're America's sweetheart. You're America's uncle or grandpa or whatever. And it'll be like, check out this picture I saw. Hanks. HANX. So I don't like that. How he started using that. That's his dad's. Like, right there, that the music video director or whatever, he was like, Chet was like taking a drink out of whatever he's drinking, and then the music video director was like, wait, does anybody have a brown bag? Anybody? Can we get a brown bag, please? And they had to like go surgery, like pull out of his back pocket. He's like, here, put that on. It'll look better.
I swear to God, man, as soon as you get a bag, these bitches want to take it from you. Take it from.
Like, what bag is he getting?
Yeah. Fuck it. Turn it.
No more bag. All right? You said fuck the bag. You said, you know what, music video director? I don't like the bag. I want him to see this nasty booze that I'm drinking.
Up the beat and the headphones. Just a little bit. Yeah. Just a little bit. Yeah. White Boy Summer. I made a bag.
Okay, so 2 times with the sunscreen.
Yeah. Just a little bit. Yeah. White Boy.
Even the White Boy Summer, man, you can't be too careful protecting your skin.
Summer. I met a bad little shorty on the powder dance, getting to the bag like it was her only chance.
They're just filming this at like the fucking Santa Monica Pier or whatever.
Like it was her only chance. Rich bitch. No, them bands said fucking.
A new profile pic. Go to Chet Hanks' Twitter account. Hashtag new profile pic. Just updated. Right here.
Man, bitch, DM in her number. Hit the strip club, I'm like Thunder.
Just dress like it's 2011. The high socks, low top Vans or whatever that you get from like Zoomies.
She let me beat it, I'm a white boy wonder.
Bag's back.
She let me beat it, I'm a white boy.
You got to make up your mind, Chet. We bagging it or no bagging it, man.
Back gal. White dandada. Rude boy, it's a.
And now he gets into like his weird Jamaican, like not that Jamaican accent. They're not weird, but when he does it, it's weird. Like what's with his infatuation with doing a Jamaican accent?
A white boy summer. Back gal. White dandada.
Also, just couldn't have more rich guy trying to be a rapper tattoos. Like he walks in the tattoo shop, they're like, "What are you wanting today?" He's like, "Oh, well, I'm Tom Hanks' son." They're like, "Oh, so you want like a Woody or something?" He's like, "No, I'm a rapper." And they're like, "Ah, I know the thing for you. Just do the whole chest. Yep, just make it a chest plate and have a hard cutoff on my arm."
Old boy, it's a white boy summer. That's Gianna's all out by the cabana, rolling marijuana, and they offer.
I love how they actually have to.
By the cabana, rolling there.
Just a bag of weed, to drive the point home, I guess. The guy just still sitting in the car back there. Like Chet just hired him as like an Uber driver, and he's like, "Hey man, we're gonna be in this music video." And this dude's like, "Dude, I gotta get somebody to the airport. Let's go, hurry up."
My LA chicks on some LA shit, eating sushi at Katana on the Sunset Strip. You know the boy got nice because I'm the one with the drip. West Side won't slip.
Bag is back. So far we've had bag on, bag off, bag on, bag off, bag on.
When I come through.
Second one. Hey, just shake your ass, and I'm just going to put my head on it. All right, don't worry. Like even if you think it's hurting me, it's not. Just keep doing it.
I won't miss. Always hit my target.
This is so fun, man. Wow. He's had like 3 different drinks already. I know I can't keep up with them. He's had champagne. He's had like a 40 or 2. One's in a brown bag. I don't even know. Yeah, I know, dude. That's a great point. The outro, the song is like 2 minutes and 19 seconds, but the outro is like 50 seconds. Morning, Jake. Let's just skip to the outro and see.
16.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. White boy summer. Yeah. 16.
Trying to be a rapper so hard, doesn't know how. I don't know how either, but I know that like that's when they're like, in the studio and they're like, just like like just freestyle a little bit. You know what I mean? Give us a little give us some ad libs, all right? Give us some ad libs on the freestyle. And he's just like right? Is that good? You like that one? Keep that one. I liked it.
Suck a duck and
Oh, sunscreen's back.
dummy dodging, man. Good.
I can't wait till like somebody. There's got to be like a response video to this, right? Like I feel like it's probably not even worth the time for somebody like Lil Wayne, but at the same time, it is because I feel like this is going to get a lot of run and a lot of pub and play, especially on social media. So maybe it's like perfect for Lil Wayne to like have a response song, over the same beat. That'd be awesome. I feel like Lil Wayne does that kind of shit a lot. But yeah, the outro starts.
Yeah. White boy summer. Boys, we just gotta get the outro.
Here we go. What's this?
Yeah, we got it, boys.
All right, now.
Gotta get the outro.
Everybody just walk with me now. Yep,
we got it.
Unison.
Yeah. White boys.
He didn't like this girl.
We got it. Actually, fuck it. We got it. Yeah.
He didn't like her. He didn't like her enough to put his face down there. Everybody else, he was, getting ricocheted. But this one, he's like, I'm gonna keep my distance here.
White boy summer. Yeah. 16.
That's like when like my mom or someone is just like, does chili sound good for dinner?
16.
Do you want to go here to get some drinks?
Yeah.
Oh, getting back in his Uber car. He's getting back in his Uber. Come on, dude. This surcharge is going crazy. You got to get in or I'm going to leave. Let's go. I've let you film enough. You got to get in or I'm leaving.
I'm out.
Oh, my God, dude. That is so funny. I know, Greg. It's like, and he knows his brand. Like it is, but it's funny and people are going to talk about it and it's fun to make fun of. So, good on Chet. Good on Chet. See, yeah, Maleki, I don't have a Tom Hanks impression, but this guy, like I said on TikTok, I forget his name. I have to go through my likes and find him, but he does a really, really good Tom Hanks. So like I said, after the show, I might DM and be like, dude, you need to do a reaction to Tom watching Chet's music video, please. So that's Chet Hanks. That's Chet Hanks' song and solo, I guess. I don't really know. I was watching the Cubs game last night and got a big win. Thank God. Got a big win. Against the Brewers. Wilson Contreras, 3-2, hits a bomb, and it was great. But the ump, like, starting the seventh inning, like, his strike zone was kind of expanded a little bit, and the broadcasters were kind of talking about it. And the broadcasters were kind of talking about it a little bit. And I was like, how can umps not have like an implicit bias to just be like, fuck this, man, let's speed this shit up? Like baseball games are so long and they're just standing back there the entire time. It would be so natural to like by the eighth inning, you're like, yeah, we're expanding this a little bit. How can they not? Like one, attention span, two, your legs and your feet and your back got to be killing you. So, you're going up there and, if these batters just want to, keep the bat on their shoulder, then I'm like, that's on you guys. I'm opening this thing up. We're getting going here. I always love that. And like, I always love that in travel ball and little league and shit when like an ump would literally come up to the dugouts before the game and would just be like, gonna be a wide zone today, boys. Hey, we're swinging. We're playing ball. So you're like, shit, all right. I mean, I appreciate you being up front, but also those umps, like they sucked because it was like you get rung up on some bullshit on the outside corner, but at the same time you're like, all right, at least we're not going to just be fucking walking everybody like a circus and it's going to be a shit show and the game's going to take forever. So that's what I'm saying, man. If I was an umpire, that's what I'd do. Even in the bigs, I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna keep it center. I'm gonna keep it cool for the first 5 innings. But hey, once we start getting into the bullpens, man, we're not going past 3 hours on this game. Swing them. We're swinging today, boys. We're playing ball. I would. 1,000% would. Literally, I loved when umps would do that, though, like before a game, because, if it's a travel ball game or whatever, it's a summer and it's hot and you're like, fuck, you've already played a game or two. You got to play another one and you're excited to play. That's cool. Or remove this. You're excited to play. But then, the ump comes and he's just like, hey, coach, be sure they're swinging. Hey, coach, opening up the zone. Yes, cool. Like I said, they could have been like a dickhead umpire and just not warned you at all. And then they're just opening up the zone. And you're like, what the hell's going on? You know what I mean? But I love when they're up front right like that. All right, let's get to them. Center for your Indiana Pacers, Myles Turner. What's up, bro?
Sean, what's the word, baby? How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How are you? How's you're in Houston, right?
Yeah. Just got here a little late last night and got one tonight, so we're rolling.
Yeah, you feeling good? You get your rest in?
I did, man. Unfortunately, I'm battling this little ankle injury right now, but I'll be back soon. So, but I'm cool. I'm good to go.
Cool, man. Good. Well, I hit you up last night, and we had the news of the evening was Slick Leonard passing away. And I just wanted to start off. I wanted to get your thoughts and kind of what Slick meant to you since you've been drafted and here in 2015 for the Pacers.
Yeah. So the biggest thing with Slick's passing, man, is obviously it was unexpected, and he just meant so much to his organization, this city as a whole. There wouldn't be the Indiana Pacers without him. I had the opportunity to meet him actually about 2 years ago. We sat down and talked for about 5 minutes, and we kind of just. We didn't really talk basketball. That was the crazy part. We kind of just talked life a little bit, and I just appreciated his outlook. He was just telling me that he was able to, obviously live a blessed life, but he just appreciates the love he gets from the Indianapolis community. And that's one thing he always encouraged me to do, is just to integrate yourself and to be a Hoosier. That's one thing I've always taken pride in. And obviously, I'm by way of Texas. I have my Indiana bloodlines, and I'm very happy with just being a Hoosier and being here. So I think his impact just runs deeper than basketball. Basketball is something that he was able to, get up in here and be able to bring out of the ABA days as far as the championship and his championship at IU. But I think he was a great person, and he'll always be remembered just for his legacy.
You guys know, you're gonna be wearing a patch or something, right? You got to be having a Slick Leonard patch on the jersey or something, or do you know anything about that yet?
I don't know anything about that yet, but knowing how we roll, I can imagine that in the next couple of games, we'll come up with something like that for sure.
Yeah. So you mentioned that 5 minutes that you were talking with him. Is there any other, how often did he interact with the team, or was he around you guys at practice or anything? Or what was kind of the relationship with y'all on the floor and then him?
So Slick didn't really come around as much when I was here. I think he was kind of in that stage where he took some time away from the game. He was more with his family and just take some time to himself. Kind of the same thing with Larry as well. Larry was around a lot my first year, first and second year. Then he stepped down and whatnot, But he came back and he made his presence known one day at practice. He spent like 3 or 4 days in Indianapolis. That was only in-person interaction I was able to have with him. But I've talked to Donnie Walsh about him. I've talked to Larry about him. I've talked even Frank Vogel when he was there about him and just his legacy and his impact. And that's when I first started learning about him in a sense and how important he was to the city.
Yeah, man. It's I was talking about off the top and in the blog that I wrote, he was kind of like everyone's basketball grandpa, like when you're even for fans, Banker's Life, like when we were he would be like 5 minutes before the game and he would just be like walking through the concourse, and you're like, holy shit, Slick. Like you take a picture with him and he was just that kind of guy. But all right, let's how are we feeling about NBA player or defensive player of the year? We feeling good?
Man, I'm feeling up and down about it. It's just tough coming from a small market in Indiana. Obviously you have Rudy Gobert that's won it, multiple times, and he's at the top of his conference right now. But if anything, I know what my impact is. I know everybody here in Indiana knows what my impact is. So I'm cool with that. I'm still trying to make all defensive teams and push myself there. But defensive player of the year is it's such a glamour race, and it's such like a popularity race in a sense. I think that it really doesn't almost have to do with impact out there. It's a matter of who how the media votes, and who will pull you through. So it is what it is.
Yeah, man. But your stats are undeniable. It's like if they just straight up went by numbers, like it wouldn't even be close.
I wish it was that easy, Joe. 2 years ago, I led the league in blocks, and I outblocked the entire Cavaliers organization, and I didn't even make a defensive team. So numbers have something to do with it, but it's also a little biased in a sense as well. So we'll see what happens. Just got to keep performing.
Absolutely, man. You guys, how we feeling though as a whole with the team, dude? Are we gonna sneak in the playoffs? I mean, this year has been injuries have gotten you guys a lot. How are we feeling about the squad?
I feel good about the squad, man. I think once we get healthy, bro, like sky's the limit in a sense. We've only had I think we've had 15 games this year out of the 53, 54 that we played, where we've had a healthy roster, an entirely healthy roster. And this is obviously not including TJ Warren, So, we've had a lot of adversity this year. We have, a new coach, a new system, and all that kind of stuff. We can make all the excuses we want for ourselves. But I think once we get rolling, bro, like the last few games, we're going to be all right. Just playing a tournament or playing game, whatever, makes adds a whole new dynamic in a sense. But it gives us a chance more than anything. And I think we can sneak into that before that even happens. So everything's just so close in this Eastern Conference.
Right. Yeah, literally, it's like you're like 2 games away from being like the 6th seed, like right now you're on the outside looking in, but I mean you go on a run and all of a sudden, bam, you're right there. What's been the first year under Nate B been like for you guys?
It's been an adjustment. I will say that it's been different from what we've had in the past, and not necessarily a bad thing, but just different. Our defensive scheme is a lot different, and it's obviously benefited me a lot, but. For the guard and all that kind of stuff, it's a little different the way they pressure the ball and, they get beat and whatnot. So that's something that's been an adjustment. Some of the guys are not overly fond of, but, got to get used to. And offensively, it's a little more free-flowing. I think guys have started for years. Doug's having a hell of a year. TJ McConnell, Domas, obviously, Malcolm, it's benefited a lot of people. So I think it's still to the point that where we got to get all our ducks in a row and get our chemistry rolling a little bit better. But it's something that happens, it's the Knicks of Pains being a first-year coach, and I think that he's going through it right now. But, we're all behind him. So I think we're all right.
What do you still talk with Victor Oladipo at all? Do you have a relationship with him still?
Yeah, I text him every now and then. I know he's going through a hard time right now, obviously, with his injury. But, I texted him when he first got out. He hit me up, happy birthday a couple weeks ago when that was. And it's not, I won't say it's like something we text every day or we talk every day or anything, but we keep in contact, just root for each other.
Nice. Yeah. What do you think of the Texas new hire?
Man, I'm curious. It's funny because I don't really know Chris Beard that well, but I know a lot of his assistants because just the recruitments and whatnot. And I live in Austin in the off season, so I'm looking forward to getting down there and meeting him and kind of seeing what his plans are with everything. And we actually got some good recruits coming in. There's been a couple transfers that's been coming in, and I'm excited to spend NCAA as a whole. Next year I think it's going to be a little bit more normal. With all the COVID nonsense coming to a little bit of a close and getting back to some sense of normalcy.
Yeah, man, that was like I just felt like that was so Shaka just up and leaves, and then all of a sudden the guy from Texas Tech is coming here. I mean, were you surprised by Shaka Smart taking off?
You know what, man? I wasn't. I was surprised he was. I was happy, but I was surprised that he got a job so quickly. That Marquette landing. But It's just tough. It's just tough because at Texas they expect excellence, like no matter what, no excuses. And we've had first round exits every single year he was there. And one of them was a buzzer beat. Oh, 2 of them were like buzzer beaters. Last year, obviously, we got our ass kicked, and then we won the NIT championship, but nobody really cares about the NIT, And you can't be the coach there and have first round exits. They expect so much better than that in a sense. So the writing was on the wall. This was the year that we thought that we would, he would break through, but shit happens. It is what it is.
Right. You which Bachelorette season are you more excited about, Katie or Michelle?
I would probably say Michelle, just because like I was kind of rooting for her, like towards the end. I think that Matt was just so. I think he knew the whole time what he wanted, and it's hard to see him like lead like girls along in a sense. It's, it's the show; it's part of what he has to do.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just excited for her because I want to kind of see like the after in a sense. And it's crazy. You see all these rumors about he's still dating Rachel, or he's dating the who's the girl, Hannah Brown, or something like that, or he's dating this and that, and you just never know, bro, like, what's going on.
Yeah,
TV,
it'd be nice to have like the 2 seasons. That'll be something new and interesting. I think to have the 2 separate bachelorettes. I kind of like that. But,
I've never watched The Bachelor before though. Yeah, I've only watched The Bachelor, so I mean, I think I might tune in this time, see what happens.
Yeah, no, it's a nice. I was the same way because I was like, I think it's more entertaining and funny to see all the girls together than it is to see a bunch of like douchebag dudes,
Guys, but like, yeah.
But then we watched Tayshia's season, and I was like, okay, that's pretty entertaining. I like that one. This is a debate that I've been having within my company with people online, so I wanted to get your thoughts. What are your hours for brunch? Do you have a hard cutoff, or do you just really anytime that you want it could be brunch? What are your thoughts?
It partially depends on what city I'm in and how much alcohol I'm consumed. So I think as a whole, I think the brunch cutoff time, well, the start time is probably like 11. And I would say the cutoff time is like 3. That's where I think the hard like brunch hours are, like just given like just off script, I would say, yeah.
So Myles, you're saying that you can make plans at like 2:00 and be like, hey, let's get some brunch at 2.
It more so goes because, in my culture, we have what's called other people time. And we say we make plans for about 12:00 and nobody shows up to like 2. So you got to give yourself that window.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That makes sense. I can't, a lot of my coworkers and stuff, they're like, yeah, they're kind of on the same boat with you. And I'm just like, if you make plans at like 1:30 or 2, it doesn't have to be called brunch. Like at that point, it's just lunch. But I think the thing is that people want to have breakfast at lunchtime. It's like, all right, whatever, we'll call it brunch, Yeah, that and the whole booze and everybody's like, it's a state of mind, like it's a mindset. And I'm like, okay. Now we're getting into just some like weird flaky shit. I don't know. Myles, thanks for waking up with me, dude. I wanted to get your thoughts on Slick, and I want to just catch up. We hadn't gotten to chat a little bit, besides social media for a while. So I appreciate it, bro. I'll be watching tonight. All right.
Anytime, bro.
All right. Talk to you. That was Myles Turner. Center for the Indiana Pacers. Need him to get healthy, man. Need him to get healthy again. Need the Pacers. I love watching the Pacers in the playoffs, man. I miss the days. It's been a while where we have Racers and Pacers, the Indy 500 in the month of May going on, and the Pacers playing at the same time in the playoffs. That's the best shit, man. It's so good. It really, really is. So he was awesome. Love Myles, buddy of mine. Wishing him well. Interesting thoughts on brunch. 11 to 3. Or his hours. I don't necessarily line up on that, but again, I love having different people's opinions on such a topic when they come on the show. So Myles Turner joined me. Love it. The Chet Hanks, unbelievable. Are you brown bagging? Are you not brown bagging it? Figure it out. Subscribe below on YouTube. Be sure to do that. Get the link in the merch. Get the merch link in the description as well. All that's below. You know the deal. So for those watching on Twitter, appreciate you as always. But head over on YouTube if you missed some of the show. You can catch up on all the videos, daily content over there on youtube.com/c/cupofjoey. I'm here every single day, 9 to about 10 a.m., some a little before, sometimes a little bit after. Happy's going nuts below me. Tomorrow, I'm going to have the full setup behind me. It's going to be great. I appreciate you. Have a great Wednesday. I'll talk to you tomorrow live at 9.